Good afternoon and welcome back to Asgard and welcome back to Infitech. So I have been super busy since last episode. Like so busy. You'll notice over here that we have some blue maho saplings planted. Basically what I'm doing up here is I'm using the forestry multi-farms because they seem to be the best choice for dealing with our maho saplings. And honestly, they are fairly easy to set up within this building. If we take a look in here, this fertilizer is just a temporary thing I'm using. We'll be using mulch fairly soon as our fertilizer, and that'll be replacing that. Dirt, we're going to automate this using, I'm going to make a small cactus farm up here, kind of similar to what we have over at the other house. And basically we'll create biochaff, and with biochaff you can actually create dirt automatically from that. So that's what we're going to do over here to deal with that. Now you'll notice this has only been plugged up for maybe an hour and a half or something like that. A decent amount of time. I mean, it's ran through a little bit of fertilizer here. We have a little over a stack of sand, which comes from the dirt. Basically the dirt changes over into sand. We have over 20 stacks of blue maho saplings and almost a stack of wood. This stuff does produce at a very fast rate. I was actually considering, whenever I set up the cactus farm, possibly having the cactus, because we'll have excess. We'll have plenty of dirt being produced because this doesn't go through dirt all that quickly. So I'm considering maybe doing some lamps of growth for this. You'll notice the wood and stuff is kind of retarded. It'll bounce around. It's whatever. Well, now it's full, but sometimes it'll go past that and it'll go crazy. Honestly, I may do a void upgrade on this fairly soon because otherwise it's going to start lagging pretty bad. Actually, I may pull this out. I don't need this in here anymore. So, but I'll fix that later with a void upgrade, I think. But anyway, this does produce at a fairly rapid rate, so we might do a lamp of growth. I really don't know if we're going to need one. Over here, you guys might be proud of me. I've actually started building this out. It's very noisy in here. But honestly, I mean, I guess I could do a sound muffler. I think we have sound mufflers, right? Is that in the... aha, we do. So I may put a sound muffler in here. Maybe. I don't know. I don't mind the noise, honestly. But basically, this is all taking carrots. And this is plugged up to our... if we pop down here, it's actually plugged up right here to our reactor battery. So... that way the reactor can fuel this for a little while longer, kind of as a jump start, and then this will fairly soon be converted over to its own power system and everything. And then back here we've got some barrels full of carrots. Oh wow, it's actually ran through those. This actually, surprisingly, with this many LV, which by the way, this doesn't require power like at all to run this. I did go ahead and set up some 8 slot battery buffers. But these have filled up fairly quickly. I mean, we're coming out positive on power, and I've only got, I've got it all transformed down under here. But it really doesn't use up that much power, and it just chunks through carrots. By the way, all 3 of these were filled until about 40 minutes ago. So, I mean, it has ran through that. It's made 15 stacks of mulch in that time. Like, it goes crazy. Crazy fast, all things considered. A lot faster than we're going to need. So eventually, of course, that stuff's going to back up and it'll stop running. Now back here, I've set up some tanks. And I did plug, I should probably pull this off before we leave because otherwise it's gonna act up on me. Where did it? Oh, I bet the vacuum chest got it. That's fine. Over here we've got our fruit juice that's being produced. We've almost got 1 million millibuckets of fruit juice already. This system is very powerful, by the way. I think once we get the ethanol plugged up and everything set up to convert, we're going to be good on power for a while. Not to mention this is of course scalable. I can keep building it up and everything, and it's gonna work out very, very well for us. Now, I'll tell you what, I think this is gonna go, and this is gonna go in my inventory. That's fine. I've got to get some void upgrades in there. That's not a problem. But anyway, for now, I'm just gonna throw this in here. You'll notice I have a bunch. Oh, there it is. You'll notice that I have a bunch of strange items in here, because of course today we're going to be going to the end. And funny story, the stronghold I found is in a really awesome place, so I was very surprised when I found it. And in case you guys don't know, before we get started, these knowledge notes and these adventurers' diaries, you can come across these in your adventures in the overworld. Now, these knowledge notes, what they do is you can just take these and you can eat them, basically. And you notice, like, they say 8 knowledge points. Now, sometimes you'll find ones with like 20 or 30 or, you know, whatever amount of knowledge points. Those are very, very important for the hardcore Ender expansion stuff. And then in addition, there's these adventurers' diaries. Now, I found all 4 of these in the stronghold. Generally, that's where you're going to find these, is in strongholds. I believe there's a slight chance you can find them out of dungeon chests. But generally, that's where you're going to find them, is within the strongholds. Now, if you open these up, you'll see that this is page 1 of 16. And as you get these other pages, it's going to fill out. So it says, this could be it. Finally found another stronghold. Maybe this one will be more fortunate. And it was. After months of searching, there I stood with the portal before me, deactivated, but still there. And so then if we go, like that says page 1. And if we open up the next one, there were a few empty slots from missing Eyes of Ender. Thankfully, I had enough on me to activate it. I hardly stood there for a second before plunging into it. This was the moment I was finally going to kill it. And page 3. After what seemed like hours, the dragon was dead. I nearly died at the very beginning when I destroyed the first crystal. No one had told me they dropped a bomb when you do that. I knew the Endermen wouldn't take kindly to me destroying the crystals, but I guess the crystals didn't either. And then we've also got page 4. Although I had killed it, I was still poisoned, bleeding, and close to death. There were holes and craters dotted around the end where the dragon had swooped down towards me. The floor was littered with a strange purple essence. I picked it up and examined it. I decided to keep it with me, but I didn't enter the portal to go home just yet. And so basically what that is, it's going to tell a story of someone that has went through hardcore Ender expansion and kind of help you along. But then in addition, those knowledge points that we got before, you can hit, if you go in controls, I think by default it's set to like B or M or something, I don't know. Anyway, I changed mine over, and you can actually open up this Ender Compendium. Now you'll notice here I have 199 knowledge points. Those are not all from knowledge fragments. Anytime you have anything to do with end type stuff, I know, like with the first time you kill an Enderman, I think you get so many knowledge points. Anytime you pop those notes, you're going to get knowledge points. Also, once we get to the end, we're going to get a lot of knowledge points. You're going to get stuff for killing the Ender Dragon, breaking blocks, you know, just all different kinds of things are going to give massive amounts of knowledge points once we actually get to the end. But once you have some of these, you can go through and, like, here we can hit and buy things. Now, Stronghold, I'm not too interested in buying. The Adventurer's Diary, of course, there's nothing there to buy. But if we scroll down here, like Dragon Lair, we can read about. But let's say, ideally, we want to get to something that we actually want. And I'm going to say the Essence Altar is probably one of the first things we want, but we can't buy it at the moment. So probably our best bet for right now is to hold on to our knowledge fragments. You'll notice a lot of the stuff we can't buy at the moment because we haven't been to the end. We haven't experienced things. So a lot of this stuff is going to be locked at the moment. I know the Temple Caller, we already have one of these, so we could buy some of these things. So I'll buy one just to show you. Like here, if we pay 5, we can get this. And it says the Temple Caller is an Eye of Ender infused with Dragon Essence. Now, I actually found one of these out of a chest. And these will be important later on. And it can rarely be found in overworld dungeons, strongholds, and dungeon towers. Before using the Temple Caller, it has to be filled with energy. Using it in the end with a dragon egg in the inventory teleports the player to a temple. And in the temple there is a dark pedestal for the dragon egg. When the egg is placed, it will use its power to destroy the end. So I don't suggest you do that right off the bat. I do not suggest it. But anyway, I'm going to head over to the stronghold, and I will be back in just a moment. Alright, welcome back. Hopefully you guys remember this place where we used to live. This is actually where the end is. Not exactly in this building, but I just kind of wanted to pop in there for a second, just kind of as a memory. It's been forever, it feels like, since we were over here last. And down in here, we've got some of our sheep that are still over here, and our sugarcane farm and all that stuff. Good stuff. Anyway, the stronghold is right here on this island. So I found that kind of interesting. Like, I dug a bit down in there, but I never dug, I guess, over here. So when I started like following the eyes, of course it didn't take very long. I just came across the ocean and pow, here we are. Okay, right here. Yes. Right here. Alright. So anyway, I went ahead and dug us a quick entrance to the stronghold. And we will get this. Maybe, maybe not. That's right. I'd started to break that before, but it takes a million years, so I was like, meh. By the way, up here, I wanted to show you this. There is 11 crates of bronze. So, also 2 crates of chrome dust inside of this, which is absolutely wonderful. I'll probably actually take the iron too, and the bread just to have it. Alright, anyway, let's push on. Normally I'd hoard up everything, but since we're going to the end, and just a forewarning, when you first go to the end and you fight the Ender Dragon with Hardcore Ender expansion in, be aware that you can expect a ton of drops. So, without further ado, let's do this. Alright, so here we go. You'll notice immediately there's a lot more world generation in the end. By the way, a frost wand with scatter is absolutely wonderful for fighting the Ender Dragon. Just a heads up. You'll also notice that these explode. They are not friendly in the least. And also the Ender Dragon is extremely aggressive in the Hardcore Ender expansion stuff, generally. Alright. Trying to get that one. But with this wand cap, you can pretty much just cast, and eventually you'll get what you're aiming at. It does scatter in kind of like a nonsensical way, so just a heads up on that. But oh gosh, you gotta watch out because he does shoot out lightning as well. So I'm gonna change over to the 9 Hails wand cap, actually. Oh man, this lightning. Okay, welcome back. I finally... Man, this thing is not taking like hardly any damage. I did finally find most everything. That actually took a while. Sadly, I noticed that the minigun does not seem to work on the Ender Dragon. Shoot, quit that. Which is definitely kind of sad. But I did make a few potions this time. I did it a little bit smarter. I don't know why I came here without thinking, because you'll notice he does that lightning bolt. That is the bad thing that you don't want. But bad news, I did lose my focus pouch. So the only focus I have right now is our 9 Hails. Because I brought that one out because of the life drain, but I can't get it to cast on him. So I'm pretty much, I made this bone, or I got a bone bow. So I'm pretty much using that at this time to finish him off. See, I was thinking the minigun would work, and it did not. Neither did my 9 hells focus. No. Why you gotta go underground right now? You're about to die. Stop it. There we go. So at long last, he is dead. And gosh, he was like mega tough. Alright. Like, normally, I don't think of him, the Hardcore Ender expansion one, as being that difficult. But at the same time, I'm used to having a little bit different gear when I come in to fight him as well. These little vampire bats are driving me insane. Absolutely insane. These guys were like draining my health the whole time. And they seem to replenish his health, kind of like my vampire bats do. Like, I don't know if it had to do with me casting on him or not. I'm not for sure. Alright, we're going to have plenty of this stuff. You really don't need that much of this essence. But we are going to get as much as we can muster, I guess. And I also want Ender Lily seeds. I do. We may end up doing an Ender Lily farm fairly quickly. Because those are very, very powerful. For those of you that don't know. By the way, there's this end powder ore as well. We'll definitely be using that stuff in the future. Alright, I don't know. I guess I should be getting the ender pearls. We'll throw those down. I should have brought a bag with me. But I put all my bags up just in case I died, which I'm glad I did. I'm kind of bummed that I lost my... Of all the things that I could lose, of course, to lose the focus pouch, that's like the worst possible thing that I could lose. So... And honestly, this end stone will make my life a lot easier, because some of that stone I've been using to build, I've been having to actually make that end stone. If you recall, we made it in the past a while back, and actually being able to just come here and get the stuff is going to be a whole lot easier on me. But anyway, I'm not going to spend... Probably just grab these, and we'll call that done on those. Let me take one more quick pass over here to see... We didn't miss any of that end powder. Yeah, we did. Figured. Oh, we're filled up on it. Okay, that's fine. I'll throw that bone down and we'll grab a little bit more of this stuff. This stuff, like, you don't need a whole lot of it, but at the same time, it's like... It's not the easiest thing to get after you kill the Ender Dragon. So... Might as well grab a bit of that. Oh, I should probably grab all this XP too. Because I'm going to have to redo a lot of my foci. Because I was intending on having oh my god, here's a bunch more of them. Yeah, you just dive off that hilltop there. I'm hoping that bug isn't present where we lose all of our XP when we zone out of the end. Because I could really use this XP for wand foci. Since I did pretty much waste all of my XP. Alright, so anyway, our main goal today is I'm looking for Naquita. I'm seeing a lot of like new ores and stuff, but I'm not particularly seeing any Naquita. I believe it's only going to come in small veins. But that is one of the major things that I'm after right now. So, cobaldite, platinum, and nickel. We do have our scanners, though. Those did make it through. Oh, happy day. So, let's see. We've got... I don't see any Naquita here. So, I guess we'll just continue on over here. And we'll fly out and kind of check out some of the hardcore Ender expansion stuff. Now, there are these towers that I'm sure we'll spot one. They're fairly common in the end. However, my original intention... Let's see. My original intention... I'm seeing a lot of iridium, but... I don't need that right this second. And I have limited inventory. What is all this? Okay. My original intention was to have our wand caps, because having that chain lightning wand cap for those towers would have been ideal. By the way, this stuff is bad news. Don't get in it. But since I died and lost all my wand foci, we'll have to do it a little bit differently. So give me a minute. I'm going to fly out and see if I can find one of those towers and at least show them to you. I don't think we're going to take those on right this second. However, if you have the patience for it, those are really, really nice places to set up spawners. By the way, sometimes you'll see these spawn the angry enderman en masse, and you'll also find chests up here as well. We got some diamonds, decent amount of diamonds here. Yeah, I'll trade that for that. Yes, please. Actually, I should probably mark it, right? I'll go ahead and mark it. What is this? Not sure what this naquita is going to look like, so kind of keeping my eye out for any kind of strange ores. But anyway, I will be back in just a moment. Alright, by the way, when you're exploring the end, you'll find stuff like, for example, like this death flower. I've already looked at this one. But if you notice, like this blue ore, when I look at it, you'll hear a page turn, and down at the bottom right, it'll say unlocked new compendium entry, and it'll tell you what you found. So if you just look at these things, you will get some knowledge fragments, and that's how you're going to unlock, you know, new things and all. With Hardcore Ender Expansion, is you're going to just basically look at things, which is kind of the equivalent of scanning them, almost, you know, with like Thaumcraft. So, ooh, naquita. Is this, haha, haha. Alright, so let's see what we get out of this. I'm probably going to throw down these torches. What was that I just dug up? Oh, I think it was like a pile of instone or impure instone dust or whatever. I remember seeing it come up on the scans a little bit. So anyway, we found our first naquita dust. We have 2 crushed naquita ore. So we are going to need a few of these, and it seems like they're fairly rare. It only took me, I guess, about 2 or 3 minutes, I guess, with the scanner. That does definitely simplify it a lot. But naquita is my main goal today, I think. And to show you just some of the basic stuff in Hardcore Ender Expansion, and we'll get into more as we move forward. But it's not something we can just dive right into today, because it is fairly difficult. Like the Ender Dragon doesn't have anything on that. But anyway, I'm going to fly around for just a little bit longer and see if I can find a tower to show you guys. Okay, welcome back. I just found another one of these chests. You'll notice that it has a fair amount of stuff, especially diamonds. Also some of this stardust, which this stuff, we'll actually use this stuff later on for some, a variety of different curses from the Hardcore Ender Expansion mod. But I'm not going to worry too much about this any of that right this second. But I wanted to give you guys a heads up. This thing right here, this energy cluster, just a heads up, we're not going to use this right this second, but make sure that you do not break this. Make sure that you don't. Because the first time I ever played with Hardcore Ender Expansion was on a server. A little bit of story here. But anyway, the first time I ever played with the mod was on a server. I didn't know what those energy clusters do, and I broke one. And it was funny because it was right after I had met this guy in the end, because he was like, kind of bribed me to kind of leave the area or whatever. Oh, nice, we found one of these too. Kind of bribed me to leave the area, you know, the initial island and everything. I was there looking for Ender Lily seeds, and he was like, well, here you go, and here's like 2 stacks of Ender Lily seeds he gives me. It was like a ton of them. And then I ended up playing with that energy cluster. And it's bad news. You will instantly die. And this thing right here, by the way, is a transport beacon. So as you find these, you can select additional transport beacons and teleport between those. So it makes traveling around in the end a little bit quicker. If I find another one, I can show you how those work in a minute. But anyway, I'm going to push on and see if I can find just a little bit more. Oh, here we go. Here's a tower. Just all kinds of exploration to be found right in here. So this thing is the tower that I was talking about. If we get close to this, you'll notice that Endermen will begin spawning once we come into here. And they're not standard Endermen either. They are angry Endermen. So they work a little bit differently. But sometimes there's actually... I'm not going to mess with these guys too much. But generally in the corners... there we go. Generally in the corners... I don't see any here. No. But let's see. Let's go up here. Yeah, right here. There's a chest with spawn Endermen. Sometimes there's actually good treasure in these. But there are generally some chests. Sometimes they're hidden behind things. And then this is the top floor. Some of these are trapped. So just be aware. But they don't really lead to anything. You'll also find some really good knowledge notes up here. And diamonds. Diamonds, oh plenty. I apologize about the noise. Endermen are not polite creatures. But you'll see why here in just a second. Double speed. Meh. And also there's this biome compass. And basically this is going to lead you to the nearest hardcore Ender expansion biome. Oh, God. I don't want up there. Like this place, if you couldn't tell, this place will generate absolutely ridiculous numbers of Endermen. So if you want an Enderman spawner, this is probably your best bet for one of those. God. But sometimes getting out of these is awful. Alright. Oh, wait till we get to the top. This is, if you haven't seen these before, it's absolutely ridiculous. Like, that's the top. And by the way, nestled in there, you'll see like what looks almost like a pillar that's just standing there. Almost in the middle of it. I'm not going to look directly at it. But like right above where my cursor's at. Actually, I think I have to go up there and actually hit it to engage it, but I can't recall. But that is a boss, actually. He's always right up here at the top of these towers, and there's always going to be one of them up there. But I don't think we're ready to take it on just yet, mainly because I want a better melee weapon. It's not a terrible boss, but it is a lot of blinding and stuff. So it's not really something that I want to mess with right this second. I am going to go ahead and mark this location. Found another tower, by the way. Like I said, those are fairly common. But I'm mainly just heading over in this direction so that we can find one of the biomes specific to the Hardcore Ender expansion. Also, here's another beacon. So maybe we can use this one. Let's take a look here. Yeah, see, if I click on this one, I can travel back and forth. Just like that. So, that's how you use those. And as you explore the end, you're going to make a nice little network, generally, of those beacons. And so you can kind of move between them. And, you know, get around the end a lot easier. It does make your life a whole lot easier. So I do suggest you go ahead and discover those whenever you come across them, because they will help you out, you know, on subsequent trips to the end. Alright, and we actually just found ourselves our first biome. Oh, it's this one too. This one's a little bit dangerous. You'll notice that we just got some more knowledge. And actually, if we take a look here in just a second. And by the way, make sure when you hit these biomes to go ahead and glance at pretty much everything. Like infested grass, for example. Just gave me a knowledge note. You do want to make sure and look at most everything here. And these, by the way, are actually infested with silverfish. Like, that's the main mob that you're going to see. If you look on the mini map right now, you'll see all those little gray things moving around. That's all silverfish. I don't believe there's actually a dungeon inside of this one. There's Stardust ore. But I don't believe there's actually a dungeon on this one. Some of them have their own special dungeons and everything, but I don't believe this one. I don't believe that that's the case for this one. So, let's head on, I guess, in another direction. Actually, really quickly, let's... Oh, there we go. That's a good find. This is a meteor, basically. You'll find sphalerite with stardust, and you can mine this stuff. I'm going to go ahead and mark it. We'll end up using that stuff later on. I don't have the inventory space to mine it right now, but we will come back and get that once I come back with my backpacks and everything. Oh, there's actually another one right down there. So, very, very good. If we take a look here at our compendium, you'll notice that a lot more stuff is getting unlocked progressively. Like, we've got death flowers, we've got igneous rock, we've got transport beacons, and let's see, indium ore, and we can actually start purchasing some of these, like basically the recipes and stuff, and some information on all of these things. This is kind of like the you'll notice I have 511 points already. Like I said, you get a lot once you hit the end. But let's say, for example, let's see, essence. It's used to unleash power of the altars. Dragon essence is gained by killing the ender dragon. That's why I said go ahead and grab that stuff, because if you're going to do much with the altars, you do want to go ahead and have that stuff on hand. And fiery essence is dropped by fire golems and scorching lens, which can be found in a variation of the burning mountains. That's another biome that we'll get to before too long, hopefully. But let's go ahead and unlock the dragon essence altar. So it infuses blocks and items with dragon essence. Infusion requires pedestals, which are up to 8 blocks of the same type, placed close around the altar. Enhancing the altar with range enhancement allows up to 12 pedestals to be used, and tools, weapons, and armor will quickly repair and slowly improve their enchantments. And then we've also got some other stuff here. Some items will turn into different items when infused. For example, the brewing stand becomes the enhanced brewing stand. The Eye of Ender becomes the temple collar. And that one was already unlocked because I've already found one of those. And then the ghost amulet is the last thing, which we can see once we purchase this. And it banishes the forest ghost and yada yada. There's a bunch of stuff in here. I'm not going to read all through this right now. I just wanted to kind of show you how that worked. And we'll cover that more, moving forward and whatnot. So, oh wow. I noticed one of these, like, near the spawn, like, just super lapis lazurite, little, island, I guess you'd call it. So I noticed some of them there as well. But anyway, I'm going to actually head back to the home place here in just a minute. I'm mainly just kind of looking around for a few more pieces of naquita while we have some energy level and everything. But I do think I'm going to end out the episode there. Next episode, like I said, we may finish up the energy system on camera. Just kind of wrap that up. Mainly with the multi-blocks and stuff like that. Stuff we haven't covered yet. And then after that, we'll either get more into Hardcore Ender expansion and maybe start doing some of the more advanced mechanics of it, like the using the dragon essence and things like that. Or we might go back into space and head to Mars. Oh, found an aqueduct. So, of course, if you guys have a preference, if you'd rather do end stuff or if you'd rather do Mars, be sure and let me know. And I don't have, like, any inventory space. I do not know. Goodbye, bread. Okay. I actually need some endstone here to make sure this stuff doesn't fall on me. But yeah, anyway, if you guys have a preference, do let me know. you know, what you guys are interested in seeing the most. And, you know, we'll try to do that next episode. Galacticraft and Hardcore Ender Expansion are both ones I'm fairly familiar with. So, yeah. So if you guys have a preference, let me know. And anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. And sorry that I died and lost all my wand foci for the most part. Oh, we found more Naquita. Good stuff. Very, very, very good stuff. I'm actually loving this right now. Get ourselves a decent amount of that stuff built up, and then we can actually teleport. Oh, which is going to be wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. But yeah, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, be sure and hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already for more daily videos. And I'm going to try to find this Naquita. I guess it's inside here. And anyway, until next time, do take care, and I hope to see you guys then.